Call the meeting to order. First, some housekeeping to do. Councillor Collins is absent due to work commitments, and Councillor Smith is also absent due to other commitments. I'd like to start off with congratulations to Sarah Hickey of Dunville, a local singer with Newfoundland's Shalloway Youth Choir, and their festival in Italy this month. The choir placed third overall in the Grand Prix. Okay, congratulations to Placentia Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, Jean Collins, on receiving the 150th anniversary of the Senate of Canada Volunteer Recognition of Valuable Service Award, presented to him by Senator Fabie Manning during the opening ceremonies of the 56th Annual Placentia Regatta. Congratulations to Sarah and Jean. Call for motion the adoption of the agenda dated July 16, 2019. It's actually July the 23rd. Adoption of agenda dated July 23rd, 2019. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Adoption of the minutes of June 18, 2019. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any errors or omissions in the minutes? Hearing none. All in favour? Motion carried. Any business arising from the minutes of June 18, 2019? Okay, move on to the action sheet. Any questions on the action sheet?
There's only one I got, Mayor. That would be just the correspondence on Ken McDonald. Just a quick update on that. I don't know, Miss Councillor Fitzpatrick first.
That's what item, Deputy Mayor?
It's on the DFO.
Okay.
Mayor, I declare. Come back.
Okay, Councillor Fitzpatrick, leave the room. We still have a quorum. Okay, yes, Council has been contacted with MP McDonald due to the Fisheries Office and what we feel is a decline in the service of the fisheries since the establishment and operation of the new building in Argentia. I spoke with Minister McDonald again recently, and he's advised me that it's the intention to be status quo with that building as was previously in Placentia. However, other information is being brought to the town. It's not status quo, and it's not the full staffing levels as was currently when the properties were rental properties. So again, another follow-up will be done with MP McDonald.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any return, Councillor Fitzpatrick, to the chambers, please? Any other matters from the action sheet? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Any new business? Okay, go to the Executive Committee report. The Executive Committee met July 11 in attendance, myself as the chair, Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, Councillor Kay Smith, Mary Green, acting CEO, and Mary Green also doing recording. The Executive Committee made several recommendations. One of its recommendations is to approve the payment of severance in the amount of $40,292 to management and non-union staff as per their employment agreement as a one-time only payout, and that no further severance will be accrued for these positions. Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved a recommendation by Public Works Superintendent to install a 12 by 12 by 6 T and a valve for future use off Route 100 near Fewers Road as part of the Dunville Water Connection Project. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Councillor Hines. Any questions?
Mayor, is that the one, they're coming into, where there's the, up on top of, the lane, where instead they made a change to that, to the engineering suggestion?
Yes, there was.
To,
I
there's
just,
better judgment on it?
yes, I think it was there in concern about actually locally owned or private owned property. Previously, it was thought that it was a town-owned road, and it's a private property.
And get better waters.
Okay. All in favour? Motion carried. Council approve entering negotiations for a lease and operating grant agreement to enter the negotiations for lease and operating grant agreement with the YMCA as it pertains to the operation of Placentia Wellness Centre. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. The council approve a media blitz campaign that alerts residents that beginning with the 2020 budget, as per the Water and or Sewer Tax, Section 130 of the Municipalities Act 1999, all property owners who have water and or sewer connection capable of being connected to their properties will be charged for those services, whether they utilize or not. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second Councillor Hines. Any questions?
Just a comment, this is something that the town has received a letter from, I guess, municipal government, or I guess the government, saying that this is something that we have to do. Part of our budget is we have to do this. I guess we were supposed to do this in the past, and we have not done it. We didn't put it back on residents, but right now, I guess we are mandated to do this, correct, Mayor?
Department of Municipal Affairs, since 1999, it was mandatory that if your property was connected or capable of being connected to the water and sewer connection passing your property, you would be charged for such service. The town of Placentia and a lot of municipalities, if you weren't connected, never really charged you for the service. Department of Municipal Affairs has notified council that in going forward in 2020, they will be performing audits of municipalities to ensure that the residents are actually being charged this taxation. If residents in municipalities are not charging it, it will have an impact or effect on municipal operating grants and other fundings from governments. So it's just, we have to now let the residents know it's something that in the 2020 budget, if your water or sewer line is passing by your property and is capable of being connected, you have to be charged the water tax. Okay. All in favour of the motion? Motion carried. Any other questions from the Executive Committee report?
Mayor, I'm just wondering what, has the date been set for the next meeting with the update on the pool, the pre-design?
Yes, I think it's July the 28th or the 29th. There's some information out there as well for council to receive and approval that we wish you to review and advise. The council is going to have a meeting prior to that meeting with Architect 49.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we move on to the Finance Committee report. Councillor Fitzpatrick, in the absence of Councillor Smith, will present the report.
In attendance was Councillor Smith, as chair, myself, and Deputy Pearson. Resource people were Mary Green and Catherine Smith. So the Finance Committee has 4 recommendations. First one is that council approve the accounts payable transaction journal dated July 5th, 2019 in the amount of $52,537.94. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second. Deputy Mayor, any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That council approve the check register for the operating account in the amount of $193,307.51 for checks numbered 027820 to 027899. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That council approve the special accounts check register for the month of July 2019. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That council approve visa statement expenditure for the period of May 28 to June 27, 2019, totaling $1,257.29. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
That's it for the recommendations from the Finance Committee. I do have a question though. I'm just wondering an update on the tax collection for ARGEN 024, if we've collected any arrears in taxes.
Okay, we're going to do that. We have to go into a previous session. So can we wait to discuss that? Obviously, action has been done. So I guess the direction is now there for council and management to pursue the action as outlined in the report. Okay. Any other question? I just guess to know that tax collection arrears, in light of what Councillor Fitzpatrick said, council is very serious about their tax collection in the debt, right? And council has, initiated, and we're starting now a process for anybody with arrears, right? Council is now starting a process of updating the report, and proper action will be taken in order to try to collect the arrears. The town of Placentia relies on their taxes to operate, and certainly sure we cannot be accepting or tolerating those that choose not to pay their taxes. Any other questions? We move on to the Public Works Committee report. Deputy Mayor.
Public Works met on July the 9th. It was myself, Councillor Collins was absent in the work, and Councillor Hines. Staff member for Mr. Green, Public Works Superintendent. Ms. Duke was recording, and Ms. Garrett was absent. Public Works made the following recommendations. Council approved the application for Morse Griffiths to construct a new residential dwelling at 233 Dawes Lane. Service and L septic approval required. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Travis Foley to construct a shed at 1315 Landon Place. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved in principle the application for Harry Murphy to construct a garage at 1368 Main Road pending ownership documents and survey. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Is this on another property with a residential house besides?
So what it is, it's, there was application for Crown land that was received. We just want to make sure that the two pieces of land are surveyed as one, all together, because you can't have a dwelling on a separate piece of land.
Yes.
You can't have a shed, so that's what we're confirming with the survey.
Yes, there's a dwelling on the place as well. Yes.
Exactly, so we're just making sure that the properties are combined.
Okay, thank you.
Council approved the application for Terry O'Keefe to construct an extension shed at 4042 Fort Louis Road. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved in principle the application for Dwelling Collins to place the sea can at 11 Jubilee Street pending setbacks and meeting zoning regulations, and they were the ones that we had on the last meeting.
Regulations outlining the comparison to your main building.
Okay, correct, and making sure that it complies with all the materials that it meets with this. It's not a sea can, they gotta meet with the standards.
Okay. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions?
So just to be clear, that's the exterior material and things that we talked about last meeting.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. All in favour? Motion carried.
Council approved in principle the application for Terry Lynn Jackson to construct a shed at 16 Freshwater Crescent pending proper owner signature.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for Darren Mills to construct a patio at 27 Freshwater Crescent. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for Greg Reed to construct a patio at 90 Freshwater Crescent. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Alan/Madonna Tremblay to construct a patio at 1 Ferndale Road. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for Scott Stone to construct a residential extension at 16 Larkin Drive. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for a vendor permit, Sir O'Reilly's Photography, to sell photos at Placentia Mall. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. All in favor? Motion carried.
Council approved the application for a vendor permit, Placentia Rowing Club, to sell tickets at Placentia Mall. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Collins Power. All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for a vendor permit, Lions Manor Nursing Home, to sell tickets at Placentia Mall. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application for a taxi permit 5-star to operate in the Placentia area. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. All in favor?
Before you call for the vote, should I declare a conflict on it?
Maybe you might be because you're,
Yeah.
what?
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we'll withdraw that second motion, right? And ask Councillor Fitzpatrick to take it. Right? Yes. Thank you, I think just on the safe side because her family does have a taxi license.
So I'll read the motion again. We'll start. The council approved the application for a taxi permit 5-star to operate in the Placentia area. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The council approved the application of Crown Land for Terry McGee reusing an existing cabin cottage as per regulations. So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
There's a couple of deferred there. There's one there that from O'Reilly, they'll have to go out for discretionary use before we decide on it. There's something there. The other one is, for leasing cottages at Bog Avenue. You can't construct cottages in a residential area, so. Other than that, there's, if anybody got any questions about any of the rest of it, you can certainly try to answer if you need.
I guess the residential area deputy would be an industrial area.
Yeah, sure, it's industrial, sorry.
That is an industrial area. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Clarification.
There were some concerns with flowers around town, but right now there's a lot of signage around town that's gonna be tore up in the next number of weeks. So it wouldn't have made sense to actually put flowers in place and then tear them up. So there will be some new signs coming in the next number of weeks, and that's the reason why.
So I guess just for clarification there that, the 7 Island lookouts and the other various properties, this time of year, we used to have a lot of flowers there with them. However, with the new signing program that we've just awarded the contract to, there's going to be revitalization of those sites, so would be the flowers that would be put there would be removed and tore away. It would be a waste of money at this time. So again, that project is supposed to be complete by the middle of August, and I think work is currently underway at some of the signage. I believe they did start out on the access road before. Anything else, Deputy Mayor?
You have an update on the Kentucky properties? And I know letters went out on the last time we had our consultation meeting.
I guess, maybe I'll let the public superintendent probably, I can answer some, but he can answer some other ones. There has been correspondence gone out. There has been actually some progress made from some of the owners. They're actually after complying and cleaning up properties. Maybe you can add more to it if you want.
Yeah, some have gone in for second letters, but we have got a lot of positive feedback. People have contacted and are working towards. Actually, some of them are cleaned up now, and other people are working towards it. So it's going good, I think, one thing.
There is some movement, which is good to see, right?
And like I said, council will continue to take aggressive steps. We put money in the budget this year to get things cleaned up, and that money we will be trying to use up to make sure that people are in compliance or not. We're going to clean it up for them in charge.
Thank you. Any other questions for the Public Works? Hearing none, we'll move on to the Public Safety Committee report. Councillor Collins is absent, who's Councillor Collins-Power will deliver a report.
I will deliver a report, however, I was absent at that meeting. The Public Safety Committee met on July 9th at 1 p.m. In attendance were the chair, Councillor Noella Collins. I was absent due to work, and Councillor Hines was in attendance as well from council. Staff members, Adam Green, Public Works Superintendent, a recorder was Kathy Duke, and Ms. Gear was absent. We have one recommendation to go forward, and that is that we recommend council move forward with getting one mini speed bump for a trial run to be rotated throughout the town. And so that.
Thanks, Bob. So moved by Councillor Collins-Power. We have a seconder to the motion. Councillor Hines. Any questions?
I have a couple of questions on that. Is that coming out of the public safety budget?
I believe so.
Or is it another part of a budget, the town that?
I guess if it's a safety issue, safety matter, and it's a safety requirement, it should come from the public safety budget.
Right, so I just wanted to clarify that. The other piece is, I'm just wondering if, for clarification, talking about moving this and rotating it through the town, will that be damaged when it's moved from site to site and things like that? That's my understanding that it's bolted into the pavement.
I just have a question out there. I mean, to me, on speed bumps, traditionally and mostly, like we've had a lot of residents looking for speed bumps through the years. And council has, traditionally stayed away from speed bumps. And most municipalities, the speed bumps don't have the effect that they're set out to do. Municipalities, at conventions that we had, and there was discussion on speed bumps actually encourage younger people to speed faster because then they get that bumper ride. Technically, a speed bump is an inverted pothole. We're going around trying to fix potholes, and now we're going to put speed bumps. So I'm just wondering, a question of concern that, if we're going to be getting in something there. But traditionally, we have, stayed away from speed bumps because people don't agree or don't like speed bumps once they're there and the cars are there. So I don't know if there was some discussion.
I'll defer, hopefully, Councillor Hines or Adam can answer that because I was not in attendance.
Yes, okay.
The discussion of safety for children, all that stuff is always first and foremost in the safety committee. And one of the things that we talked about is the difficulty with cars and stuff and having to move around. And I got lots of support. But the part of it is actually having a real trial, having looking at the speeds before, after the speed bump is there for a certain amount of time, then evaluating where it's actually affecting, whether it's affecting right in the middle of a playground area or kids are crossing, in a residential area. That's where we got to find out, because it's kind of like a lot of things. People want them, but don't realize sometimes they cause more trouble than parents. So that's why we want to do actually organized trial run, not just see how it goes, but actually a kind of thought out process of where we put it, how we put it there, and how it works.
Yeah, and my question was, if we're going to be moving it around, then I'm going to damage it every time.
No, these are actually portable. This is one way of doing it, and the public works superintendent is pricing out the exact ones that are actually made for this.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's going to be, I know other municipalities, Hollywood's doing it as well, as a trial run.
And keep just address the chair to keep the council.
Those who are in there, yeah,
sure.
a little distracted.
Yeah, no problem, and understandable. Some distraction all the time, outside too, right? And I apologize for that. Okay, so the committee recommends getting one mini speed bump for a trial run to be rotated throughout the town and a trial basis to try to see. Have anybody got any further questions? Okay. All in favor? Motion carried.
So this item then that would have to go to finance committee.
Oh, this is actually approved and it's done, and our public works superintendent will, take the steps in the process to get a mini speed bump. And they come through the
Hence
committee.
my question of whose budget it was coming from.
Just a couple of things, our regular items we have on our agenda. The radar stats, the report from June 10th to the 1st of July was circulated, and again, it's showing that speed is still a major concern. So we have different, once again, situated through the town, and those reports again are going to the police as they usually do. The RCMP monthly policing report, there were currently 88 service calls in that last month. And with regard to children at play signs, the committee discussed and reviewed the children at play sign, and they have agreed to move that sign to another area of Freckle Place, because we have been getting some concerns up there with residents and speed up there. So we would post that on our website and encourage caution driving in those areas. And our line painting project is complete, and we're pleased with the results. The wheelchair spaces, just to note, they are a little different, but they do meet the regulations.
It's nice to see the line painting done earlier and stuff not on the move, during this summer season. Any other questions for Public Safety Committee? Move on to the Culture and Tourism Committee report. Councillor Hines.
Now, we met on June 8th, 10:30 a.m. and I was there as the chair, Councillor Kay Smith and Councillor Noel Collins. Rhonda Power was manager of Tourism Marketing Communications, and Anita O'Keefe, Tourism System, was recording. We have one recommendation at this time, and that is the committee recommends that council approve to reactivate the conduct committee after the public session in the fall.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Hines. Second, Councillor Collins-Power. Any questions?
I just have a question on, with the committee, how will the members be selected? Will it be solicited by invite or will it be a call for expression of interest of individuals to put forward their name? I'm just wondering what process will be in place for that.
I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe it'll be a call after our public communication session. There will be a call for interest. There will be people who will have already wanted to be on the Historical Society and that kind of stuff. There will be advisors on that committee as well. But I do believe it'll be a formal request for interest.
Okay, obviously from the committee's recommendation, we established another candidate committee, and the committee can work out its detail. I guess it just shows that council would support the setting up of such a committee. Okay, any other questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
The Voice, just a couple of notes, as it is a busy time, the Voices 2019 update, everything's ticking along with that. The Irish update, we have 70 visitors expected, and they still need accommodations. We're still looking for people to contact. They can email Around the Power. Canada Day celebration. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to the fire chief of the fire department for their assistance in putting together another successful fireworks show this year. It was delayed with weather, but we got a beautiful night for it, and just coincided to have it on July 4th, which is for our US friends who are here as well. They enjoyed it. A couple of things we're always learning from these events. A few things came to light the next day about cleaning up and that kind of stuff. And it's just, we're going to be, going forward, we're just making sure that everyone knows what role we're having to make sure there's nothing left undone or left wondering about the next day. So I know there was some debris left. We know why that was left, because it was packed handle, and we know why it wasn't picked up and that kind of stuff. So we've a bit more of a protocol put in place just to affirm whose roles these things are to make smooth, to always have them as smooth events. The wayfinding project again is underway. The mayor mentioned about the at the time to additions to it and to replace some others. The website update, Manager of Tourism and Marketing. The website is up. We're looking forward to anyone has any information or would like to see something corrected to pop an email to us. And we're looking forward to it. It's quite nice and really easy to use on your phone and stuff, as well as the app is updated and everything is running smoothly with that. Again, with the convent, there's great concern over the status of the convent building and its condition. We do caution people to go around, especially where it's wet. It is a special concern of ours, and we've action taken to help start the process. Fort Louis, thank you to everyone who was involved in getting Fort Louis back as a tourist, started to anyway, as a lovely place for tourists to swing around and see some history and the cannons and stuff that everyone worked hard at getting replaced. Place is full of tourists there every day, so we're looking forward to the utilization of that. A couple things we're looking at having, maybe the Newfoundland Growlers. We've been invited down to the Growlers, winning the Kelly Cup, to come to Placentia, as they are related to some of our fantastic residents here. So we're looking forward to that happening soon.
Okay, good. Thank you, Councillor Hines. Any further questions on culture or tourism? We'll move on to the Recreation Committee report. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
The Recreation Committee met on July the 3rd. In attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Lorraine Collins-Power, and Deputy Keith Pearson. Rhonda Power and Adam Green were there as resource people, as well as in this month's meeting. Just some general updates. The splash pad, its estimated completion of the project is going to be late August. And we'll be having signage posted at the site to list the rules of the splash pad, supervision requirements for younger children, and user responsibilities. Playgrounds have been inspected and necessary maintenance has been completed. We had some significant conversation on the Dungle and Placentia ball fields, on some issues that have been brought to each of the councillors' attention. So we'll be looking at that and looking for cost analysis done of the different things that have to be completed and work into our budget for next year. And we've already updated on the Regional Wellness Center that we'll be getting an update as council on a pre-design, July 28th. So that's our report for this month.
Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any other questions? Councillor Collins-Power, Community and Communications, Community Engagement and Communications report.
We don't have an official report this month because we did have our community consultation on June 26th. So just to give a little bit of an update from that, council was here on the 26th and we had a couple, and I can't really say a handful. We did have 3 residents show up, and it was actually quite interesting. It was more of a one-on-one conversation with residents, and we got some feedback from them, and it was good for us to hear. So regarding communication and how we communicate with the public, and I just want to encourage residents that we are open to hearing about our, anything they, both social media or any way they feel we can improve communication. As this particular council, when it was elected, we formed this committee for that reason. So certainly we're open to that. So the theme of that evening, before, typically what we do is we have a theme, and that was beautification. And that was held in the month of June, and we had some corporate sponsors, I guess you could say, through Husky. They planted some trees around town. We had some groups in the community as well to clean up, as well as our residents. So we thank them for continuing to help us keep our town clean. And again, it's an ongoing. And then, like I said, following that, we had some good conversations with people that were in attendance. So that was pretty much what we did last month. But also, following that, our website has been updated, and it's nice and colorful, and it's laid out quite nice. So I'd like to thank Ms. Power and any staff member for her help with that. So we're encouraging residents to have a look at it and see anywhere that if they have any issues, they can certainly let us know.
It's also my understanding that there's a section for RFQs or RFPs, tendering process.
Yes,
so is that part of it now?
I believe it is now. There's a section.
So I would encourage any business looking to, avail of any opportunities with the town of Placentia. That's going to be the place to see that. We will have them on the town's website. So that's great, and it's good to see that, yes, it's up and running and moving forward.
No, that was pretty much, because that's what our meeting was about in June. And we'll have another session now in September, so we just have to determine what that topic will be, but we'll certainly let everybody know some of that.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Collins-Power. Any other concerns for the committee?
I just have a comment about, I should have commented earlier on the item about the municipalities, and the water, the new going forward, the 2020 budget. We'll make sure that's included in our committee as well, to get that
Yes.
out to residents.
Yes, because obviously, residents, I mean, it certainly hasn't been the intent of this council in any of the process, to try to increase additional taxation to residents. However, this is something, some residents may see that additional taxation, but it's being advised us that it's mandatory from the department. So, okay, good, thank you. That's it for the committee reports. Correspondence. Anything on the correspondence? Okay, I guess on the Route 100 and signage, I mean, obviously, the signage and the Route 100 has been certainly, we've been lobbied and we've been pushing again as well to try to get it done. I believe the street lining has taken place over there. The signage is still ongoing with government departments. The other one, the Husky Committee. Obviously from the last meeting, there was some new signage actually being delivered by Husky in light of for the Route 100. Some larger signs, 4x8s, outlining speed, lettering, so on and so forth. And Husky has given us a detail of that. And we're certainly going to see some new signage put there, as well as an increase in the school zones. The signage there around the entrance around St. Anne's and next to the post office here, right? So that's going to be proceeding. Right? Other than that, any other questions?
I don't have a question, I have a comment around Harold Berry had sent an email out to council and Public Works around children at play signs for current families. And I want to thank the Public Works supervisor and staff for getting those erected up at Berkeley Place.
Yes, Mr. Barry actually called and was thankful that the signs were there. And he has said that it has slowed down some residents. It has taken some effects. So good.
Which is one of our key areas that complaints come in around speeding with children at play.
Okay, so anything else in correspondence?
No, the only thing that, just to comment on the signage, Mayor, with regards to Route 100 and signage, we have been diligent in collecting signs that are not approved by the town. There is some in place right now, but once we're back to normal, they'll be all taken care of again as need be. So, there is approvals and stuff to be put in place for signage for town Placentia, and there was some put forward, but not all information. So you need to have approval before you put signage in place. If not, the town will be looking at to make sure that the signs are removed.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And yes, for clarification, the Public Works Superintendent is doing his utmost to try to curb any of this stuff that now is popping up around, warranted by the town or not even in compliance with our regulations. And obviously, they will be removed. Okay, any other questions? Okay, other business councillors. Councillor Hines.
Back to signage, it's a good thing though. I'm the representative for council on Chamber of Commerce, and there's a new committee formed with Chamber of Commerce as the TCII, Department of Transportation, and all the stakeholders for the area, including the Department of Tourism as well. And something they're looking at making sure happens in all of the entrances to the province is a sense of arrival. And Argentia is poorly lacking in our sense of arrival. If they come in, they actually can see through the fog. They might not get to see the sign. So there's actually and they have a mandated, opportunity, I'm going to say, to actually make this happen within the next year and a half. So there's, we had our first meeting. There's another meeting happening in September, and this includes the Department of Transportation and not just sense of arrival, but because Newfoundland is supposed to be so welcoming, it's not just the welcome to Newfoundland signs. it's the directional signs and the Placentia area signs. So they kind of realized their sense of arrival is they should just be left on a rock to go with the highway. They should actually come into a town. So the lack of signage that we're allowed to put there, because they're Department of Transportation and Work Services rules, we're actually looking at getting some of those modified to actually have Town of Placentia and what they offer using universal. So that's a good thing. That's because that's the first thing that everyone at the one table getting that done. So we met last month, TCII and everyone's involved with it, and Marine Atlantic and everything. So it's hopefully before the end of the year, we'll have a project put together and funding available for it.
We had a great job, good to hear, especially with Marine Atlantic, being the gateway here to Placentia, and obviously to the island. It's really great that we can see an improvement in the signage there as well. Good, so good luck with the committee and keep us updated. Anything else, Councillor Hines?
No, just looking forward to great turnout for the regatta. I think the weather had a lot to do with it, and glad to see we were well represented there. And I think it was a lovely weekend for everyone.
Thank you, Councillor Hines. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
I'll pick up on the regatta one. I wanted to congratulate the regatta committee for another successful event. I think there was 9 local teams this year, a lot of young teams this year too. I think there was 4 or 5 young teams that participated, which is nice to see the younger generation starting to get involved with the event. And I do want to congratulate Kenny King and his crew with Belfour. Last year they set the men's senior race record and they broke it this year. So they're a force to be reckoned with. And even though the individuals on that team don't live here, they are originally from here. They're around 35 years of age, the men that participate in that team. I also want to congratulate the Softball Association on their tournament this weekend. It was very successful and very well ran, even though it was pretty cold on Sunday. And to congratulate the teams that participated in the annual Moss tournament in St. John's. I want to extend my congrats as well to PATA on the recreation program thus far. I've been hearing nothing but positive comments coming forward with respect to that program. And it's nice to see the paving and the line paintings done around town. It brightens up the roadways. And just a reminder again about the dilapidated properties that, if you are after receiving a letter, work with the public works superintendent and get those properties dismantled. And if there's anything, I guess, that we can do to assist around that.
Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Deputy Mayor.
I guess I would also like to congratulate the Regatta Committee on another successful year. I guess one important point of note is I'd like to congratulate him on renaming the winter stock after Tony Woodman. I saw a lot of stuff on that, a lot of feedback in the crew and stuff like that. What an awesome job. So congratulate the committee on making that decision. Look forward to the Voices of Placentia Bay coming up. August 3rd weekend. So look forward to that. And the only other thing I had was maybe a suggestion for the next engagement committee. Again, with the public session, will be around the infrastructure, where we go next with the infrastructure funding, and maybe get some feedback from the public on where we're at, and maybe there's other things and how we go forward. Because it is going to be a mandate of council to make decisions once the water line is flowing to Dunville, where we go from there. So certainly be good to get some feedback. And I think that would be something that should draw people. Other than that, that is it.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Collins.
I just have a couple of items. It's like Deputy mentioned, the Voices of Placentia Day Festival. Councillor Hines and I are in Placentia 350 committee, and we did meet and Ms. Power with the committee. It was last week, so that's certainly shaping up. And there's a couple of things we had this year, so there's going to be a lot of attendance, and hopefully the weather cooperates. And as well, I noticed Ms. Power sent out a public notice this evening just to let our residents know, and which they probably are aware, that the office is closed unfortunately, hopefully not for too long during the strike, but they can still conduct their business by telephone, through the website, or by mail. So, and we apologize for the inconvenience. Hopefully, that contract's in.
Thank you, Councillor Collins-Power. Okay, and again, I reiterate the comments to the regatta and certainly the naming of the Tony Woodman Winners Dock. Tony was certainly an avid volunteer and, you know, on the cover of the regatta. With softball and the other events that's ongoing, most certainly. I also like to thank the public itself, you know, even for bearing with us through this strike. Obviously, there's a strike that's on the go, and, you know, I would encourage at this point again, you know, for the town's workers to return to the bargaining table and do some fair bargaining. You know, that's the way to have to try to end this. Sound, fair, reasonableness, and I would encourage them to return to the bargaining table and do negotiations. Okay, after that, I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Hines, second by Councillor Collins. Meeting adjourned.